Hello and welcome back to the channel.
We just wrapped up a full Mardi Gras season living right here in New Orleans, and let me tell you, it was incredible.
We went to the biggest parades, caught thousands of beads, tried all the best food, and even joined some special events.
If you ever thought about coming to Mardi Gras, now is the time to start planning for next year before the prices skyrocket.
In this video, we'll break down when to go, where to stay, how to get around, must-see parades, and pro tips to make your trip unforgettable.
So grab a drink and let's dive in.
Welcome to World Wanderers.
We're Alicia and Will.
Come wander the world with us.
So when should you come?
Mardi Gras isn't just one day, it's a whole season.
Mardi Gras officially starts on January 6th, which is the 12th night after Christmas.
Mardi Gras Day itself, also known as Fat Tuesday, is actually the last day of festivities. So depending on where it falls on the calendar dictates the length of Mardi Gras season.
Yeah, for example, this year Mardi Gras fell on March 4th, but next year it falls on February 17th, so the Mardi Gras season and events will be much more condensed.
The biggest parades are usually 2 weekends before Fat Tuesday, but the parades you want to attend are definitely going to depend on your personal preferences.
We're going to break down the differences a little later in this video, but if you want the full experience and want to spend less than a week in New Orleans, the best time to arrive is the Thursday before Fat Tuesday.
So let's talk logistics. If you're flying here, you'll want to fly into MSY, which is Louis Armstrong Airport.
It's a beautiful brand new airport, but it isn't huge, so during huge events like Mardi Gras, flights can fill it fast.
We definitely recommend booking early if you want a good price and convenient times.
And if you're driving, bear in mind that parking downtown can be a nightmare.
Basically, you're going to need to pay a lot for a safe spot, and we're talking a minimum of like $50 per day.
And then don't count on necessarily being able to access the car to get around.
Yeah, once parade season starts, they shut down the streets in a really wide radius and don't allow you in or out.
Even as residents of the French Quarter with our police provided passes, we weren't sure if we'd be able to get in and out of the parking garage and out of the French Quarter in order to go pick up our friends from the airport.
So if you're driving, look into booking a spot ahead of time, or even better, pick a hotel with valet parking so that if someone breaks into your car, which unfortunately is pretty common here, then their insurance is responsible, not yours.
When you're picking where to stay, you have a few options to pick from. We live in the French Quarter and specifically picked this location because it's a perfect spot to experience Mardi Gras.
You're right in the middle of the action. It's easy to pop back to your place and go to the bathroom during the parades, and it's fun and has a festive atmosphere.
Yeah, it also makes it easy to go back for more drinks when you need them.
Right.
The drawback here, though, is that it's expensive and loud, like all night loud, especially when people are leaving the French Quarter at the end of the night.
Yeah, I always sleep with my portable sound machine on. I'll link it in the description if you want to check it out. But even that's just on a random weekend or Tuesday night, not even just Mardi Gras. So be prepared for all night noise.
Another great option is the Garden District.
Yeah, this is a beautiful area with historic homes and it's much quieter.
While the majority of the bigger parades go through this area, it will be much harder to get to the French Quarter for the smaller, more intimate parades and a lot of the famous restaurants.
Right. If you're staying in this area, we recommend staying close to the St. Charles streetcar line, which is a great public transit option to get around.
But keep in mind the St. Charles streetcar will be closed during all the big parades that end up using that route.
Right. A happy medium would be to stay in the central business district.
This is close enough to walk to the French Quarter, has a lot of huge high-rise hotel options, and a number of great restaurants.
Right. The big parades go through this area as well, and it's between the French Quarter and the Garden District, so it's pretty centrally located.
And no matter where you're staying, book early. Prices double closer to Mardi Gras.
When it comes to how to get around, walking is king, but bring comfy shoes.
The streetcars and buses are pretty affordable. It costs about $1.25 per ride for adults, and they come really regularly.
Right. Uber and Lyft are a popular option as well, but surge pricing is definitely real, so you'll want to ride early or late to avoid the peak fares.
They're also subject to the same road closures normal drivers are. So know that you'll be walking to and from pickup points, which may be just as far as the bus stops.
Now let's talk about must-see parades and events.
In Mardi Gras, Super Crews are the biggest and most extravagant parade organizations.
They're known for their massive high-tech floats, celebrity grand marshals, and huge throws like plush toys and light-up trinkets.
These big parades go down the big streets of New Orleans, with most of their routes on St. Charles Avenue and Canal Street.
Oftentimes, they'll stack multiple parades on these routes with one parade following another.
Muses, for example, is an all-female parade that throws these really beautiful decorated shoes, which followed two smaller parades this year.
The most famous super crews in New Orleans are Endymion, Bacchus, and Orpheus, each drawing hundreds of thousands of spectators. In our opinion, these parades are pretty similar, and if you can hit one of them, that's the right amount to check it off your bucket list and experience it.
Zulu and Rex are the two famous parades on Fat Tuesday itself. They're iconic traditional ones, which are worth hitting if you're still here on the last day of Mardi Gras.
They can get kind of crazy though, and we didn't enjoy Zulu as much as some of the earlier parades because it got kind of mob like towards the end.
We also love the smaller French Quarter parades throughout the season, with each having their own theme.
Right. Crew de View is one of the most satirical and raunchy parades, featuring hand pulled, mule drawn floats and brass bands, known for its political and social satire theme.
Crew Bohème is another unique one. It's an artistic parade inspired by like the bohemian spirit of New Orleans, where people dress in whimsical fairy tale like costumes. Parade often includes stilt walkers, musicians, and performance artists.
The Crew of Cork is a wine themed walking parade, which is more of a moving party through the quarter, stopping at various bars and restaurants.
And for animal lovers out there, don't miss Barkus. This is the Mardi Gras parade for dogs.
This crew features costumed pups and their owners parading through the French Quarter, often in elaborate themed outfits.
It raises money for animal charities and one of the cutest parades of the season. It was probably one of my favorites for sure.
Now let's talk about what to pack and what to wear.
We mentioned it before, but comfortable shoes are a must. You're going to be walking a ton.
We'd also recommend layered clothing. I was freezing this year on some weekends, and other weekends I was sweating.
Most important thing though is costumes.
Literally anything goes. I originally thought I needed outfits in the Mardi Gras colors of purple, green, and gold, and we saw a ton of that, but there were also crazy costumes.
For people dressed up as Marie Antoinette, people just picking a sparkly color and choosing the most outrageous clothing and accessories in that color, we saw it all.
There were people dressed conservatively and people also half naked. So, whatever you feel comfortable in will fit right in. Just throw on some beads.
Also recommend a crossbody bag or a fanny pack to keep your valuables in. The crowds they're pretty massive, they can be pretty dense, and pickpocketing is definitely a real concern.
Definitely also bring a portable charger since your phone will die with all the pics and maps on it.
Next, let's talk about some Mardi Gras tips and tricks.
If you want to hit the best spots for catching beads, hit up St. Charles Avenue during the parades for a family friendly vibe.
If you're a group of adults, hit up Bourbon Street literally any time for the wildest energy.
As far as bathrooms go, there will be porta potties along the main routes, so pack some hand sanitizer. Some restaurants will let you use their bathrooms, but some will charge per visit or sell daily passes.
For the big parades, we recommend getting to the area 3 to 4 hours early.
It really is so much more enjoyable to be in the front row behind the barrier where you're able to see the floats and interact with the riders and acts.
On that note, bring or buy a camping chair. We grabbed this really nice two-person chair from Costco this year. It was like $40 if I remember right. It's a great chair.
Yeah, it gave us a comfortable place to sit for the hours leading up to the parade. And once the parade started and we stood up, it kind of gave us a bubble of space that people couldn't pack into and intrude upon because the crowd really does press forward.
You also can purchase passes to the bleacher seats, and they call them grandstands. They get set up along the routes.
Companies will put out stands with special seats for sale where you don't have to get there super early and you can get a great view.
They start at about $50 per seat, and maybe a great option for a single special parade that you want to see.
But they sell out super early. So again, you're going to have to plan this months in advance if you want to do that.
Another option is the Mardi Gras balls. These are the formal evening parties after the parades.
Right. Some are exclusive, but some you can just buy tickets to.
One of the best you can buy tickets to is the Endymion Extravaganza.
This is held in the Superdome, and the parade ends there. So you have a great spot to see each float go by as it enters the dome.
Tickets include food and drinks, and they have a post-parade concert with big names.
Yeah, like this year it was Katy Perry, for example.
Wherever you're watching the parade, we'd recommend bringing a cooler full of drinks.
Right. New Orleans has open container laws that let you just walk around with alcohol. So you can save a ton of money by bringing your own drinks.
Also, make sure to get your technology in order.
Right. First, you're going to want to download the Parade Tracker app. This is great for checking out where the parade route is and when you should get to a spot to see it.
It's also great the day of because they use a GPS device that will show you in real time where the start and the end of the parade is on the map.
Right. This is especially helpful because if you plan on watching the parade on Canal Street, for example, the parade may start at 6:30 p.m. in the Garden District, but it may not arrive to you until around 9 p.m.
Or even later. And it also varies by parade and it varies year to year. So it really is hard to plan for what time they're going to get to any certain point along their route.
Right. And then also make sure to bookmark mardigras.neworleans.com.
Yeah, this gives you parade routes and schedules even earlier than the apps get them and can help you plan out when you'd like to be in town.
And pro tip, when you're looking at the regions of parades, the ones you'll want to focus on are Uptown and French Quarter.
Yeah, these are the ones you'll be able to get to relatively easy, staying in the locations that we talked about earlier.
Right. The rest are basically in surrounding suburbs of New Orleans proper.
Next, let's talk about food and drinks you have to try.
An absolute must is beignets at Cafe du Monde.
These are fluffy, deep fried pastries coated in mounds of powdered sugar that are unique to the New Orleans area.
They're about $5 for three of them, and you could definitely split them between two people.
But no judgment if you don't want to share. She usually eats all of mine.
Yeah, and bring cash because they don't take credit cards.
King cake is another New Orleans dessert that you can't miss.
Right, this cake is a sweet cinnamon-filled dough topped with colorful purple, green, and gold icing, and often hiding a tiny baby figurine inside for good luck. To me, it tastes like a super sweet iced cinnamon roll with extra sugar on top. It's super yummy.
Yeah, there's a normal flavor, but there are dozens of unique options like cream cheese and fruit flavors and cookie dough, praline, fried donut, and they're all amazing. But make sure you watch where you bite.
Yeah, I have this paranoia about breaking a tooth on a baby, so I'm always like searching my piece before I bite into it. You can get them at the local supermarkets here. We like Rouse's Supermarket for good prices and a variety of flavors.
There are also tons of specialty bake shops that make even better ones. Everybody has like their favorite version of the king cake.
Right. So check out King Cake Hub, which is a seasonal pop up that's a one stop shop for a variety of king cakes from local bakeries where you can just look at them all and pick the one that's right for you.
And then, of course, don't forget to try New Orleans classic dishes like gumbo, jambalaya, the red beans and rice, and po' boys.
Yeah, you can literally throw a rock in the French Quarter and hit a place that makes these dishes. Our other favorite restaurants are Napoleon House in the French Quarter, which has awesome muffaletta sandwiches, and La Boca in the Central Business District that has really great steaks.
Yeah, one of the great things about Napoleon House is they serve their muffalettas hot. Not everywhere does, and I definitely love them hot. And you also can't talk about New Orleans without talking about the drinks.
Right. Make sure to stop by Pat O'Brien's, where they invented the hurricane in the 1940s. That's made with light rum, dark rum, passion fruit juice, orange juice, lime juice, simple syrup, and grenadine.
Also, make sure you try a hand grenade on Bourbon Street.
We also love the Spotted Cat on Frenchman Street for cool live music and truly delicious Pim cups.
And if you're staying beyond Mardi Gras, the city has a lot of fun things to do.
Right. Check out Royal Street to shop for art and antiques.
You can take a carriage tour of the French Quarter.
You could check out the cemeteries to learn about our haunted history or take a voodoo tour.
Or ride one of the steamboats on the Mississippi River.
Or take a swamp tour to see the gators up close.
There's also the World War II Museum and plantations in the area if you're into history.
Right. Mardi Gras in New Orleans is truly a one-of-a-kind experience, and the best way to make it amazing is to plan ahead.
If you found this guide helpful, give it a thumbs up and subscribe for more travel tips.
Let us know in the comments if you're planning to come next year.
And as we say in New Orleans, let the good times roll.
And safe travels.